Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel. We are the Lion Gaming crew, and in this Diablo 3 non-seasonal build guide video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new build here on the channel. It is the Typhons Veil, man, and it is available now in both softcore and hardcore non-seasonal on PlayStation consoles. Don't worry, Xbox players, I see you guys, and we are working hard to push this update out for Xbox, so all the new gear will be available hopefully by Friday. If you're looking for any of the gear shown in this video, all you need to do is hit that link in the description, sign up for Discord if you're not already a member, and put in a request. You get one gear request per 24 hours, and we've got it all here on the channel. We've got cosmetics, we've got everything you could possibly think of. So without, oh wait, man, you thought I forgot. Man, big special shout out to each and every single one of the subscribers to the YouTube channel, man. We just hit 1,000 subs, man. I can't believe it. I'm overjoyed. I'm ecstatic. So truly thank you all, man. And big special shout out to each and every single member of the Discord community. Literally, without your guys' support, literally none of this would be possible. So truly thank you all, man. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into this build guide. So for our main weapon right here, it is codenamed Frost. I felt like it would be a perfect name for this build because we're going to be using a lot of, frost damage and stuff like that, man, cold damage. So yeah, it's got 1,290,937.5 damage per second with affixes for damage, poison damage, percent damage, and it is augmented for 750 additional intelligence. That item is also set for level 1 thanks to the Gem of Ease, so you're going to get 8,000 experience per kill. And yeah, it is sanctified with the Storm Armor Sanctified affix, which is pretty nice. It's got a Season 25 Soul Shard affix on there. When you kill an enemy, you deal the damage done by the death blow to all enemies within 25 yards. Pets and followers cannot trigger this effect. And the legendary bonus, you may have one extra Hydra active at a time, and they deal 300% increased damage. 56.9% for the reduced cooldown of all skills, and this is a level 1 rare wand. Moving on into the first piece of the Typhons Veil set, man. This is a pretty good set, man, not gonna lie. It has, right off the bat, Season 25 Soul Shard. Killing an elite enemy reduces all your active cooldowns by 5 seconds. Other than that, though, affixes for intelligence, percent life, percent critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. 30,000 life per hit, 2 arcane power per second, augmented for that 750 additional intelligence, 50% damage to undead, 35% gold from monsters, and 40,000 thorns damage. For the shoulders, pretty much the same story here, except we're adding vitality and resist all elements. Other than that, though, critical hits grant 7 arcane power. Everything else is exactly identical. For the cooldown of all skills and resource cost reduction, they're both at 15%, and you get a 25% damage to the enemy bonus. We'll just go over the set bonuses right now before we get any further on in this build guide. The 2-piece set bonus reads double the duration of Hydras and increase the number of heads on multi-headed Hydras by 2. The 4-piece set bonus reads damage taken is reduced by 8% for each Hydra head alive. Each time you take damage, a head dies. A head cannot die more than once every 2 seconds. In the 6-piece set bonus, Hydras deal 2,000% increased damage for each Hydra head alive, and everything is set for level 1 Primal Ancient. Moving on into the chest piece, going back to the gloves here, it's pretty much identical. You get arcane power per second, a slightly higher intelligence value. Other than that, pretty much identical to those gloves. Moving on into the helm, we have socketed in 2 flawless royal amethysts for extra percent life, and we've also socketed in the red soul shard from the Darkening of Tristram event. So you're getting 6,395 intelligence, you're also getting vitality, resist all elements, percent life, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. Life per hit, critical hits grant 14 arcane power. You get 17,376 life after each kill. You get that thorns damage, percent gold from monsters, and 38,625 life from health potions and globes. You also get 1,000 to all stats. Your Hydras now periodically cast Frost Nova and deal 300% increased damage, which is pretty nice for the legendary bonus of this piece of gear. Other than that, though, periodically struggle for control, unleashing a ring of fire that inflicts 20,000% weapon damage to enemies it passes through. Slightly higher on the cooldown of all skills on this piece of gear at 23.5%. Other than that, though, pretty much standard. Level 1 rare wizard hat. Moving on into the amulet. This is a rare level 1 amulet, the PvP amulet to be exact. Buffing all main stats, you get 6,357 to 6,812 damage. You get cold, fire, percent damage, 60% to attack speed, 125% life, 150% to critical hit damage, 10% to critical hit chance, 53,920 life per hit, 200% damage to wizards only. Other than that though, it ignores durability loss, which is great. You get increased move speed after killing an elite pack and picking up a health globe. This thing is also chock full of those Season 25 Soul Shard affixes, as well as having some legendary item bonuses like slaying enemies that engulfs the wielder into a frenzy, which is from the Echoing Fury legendary power. And yeah, your signature spells attack 50% faster and deal triple damage. That is from the Fragment of Destiny legendary power. Yeah, so this thing's pretty much got it all. You also get the Elemental Exposure passive, and it is sanctified for the Magic Missile Sanctified affix. And it has some insanely high cooldown of all skills and resource cost reduction, 70.9% for the cooldown of all skills and 67.6% for that resource cost reduction, and a whopping 70% damage to the enemies. Not too bad at all. Moving into the bracers, this is the first piece of the Guardians set, the Guardians Aversion. These are pretty much though identical to the helm. Only thing that's really changed on here is we added 75% magic item find. Other than that though, pretty much, identical. It's got all the stuff you'd like to see on a piece of gear. Moving on into the offhand. This is the Winter Flurry offhand, codenamed Frost. It's got an insanely high intelligence value, coming in at over 10,000, not counting the augment, which is absolutely insane. But other than that, though, man, it's got damage to undead, percent gold from monsters, 40,000 thorns damage, and the legendary bonus reads, enemies killed by cold damage have a 25% chance to release a Frost Nova. Your Hydras deal 150% increased damage to enemies in a blizzard, which is pretty great, not gonna lie. Moving on into the first ring, this is the test ring 516 for immortality, so you're never ever gonna die while wearing this. Right off the bat, one of the best affixes I can see is a 200% damage to wizards only, which is great, and the gold health pickup radius is increased by 100 yards. On that though, it's almost identical to the amulet, except it doesn't have any soul shard affixes. Nothing crazy like that, just standard legendary bonuses from the legendary gems. Cooldown of all skills and resource cost reduction are both above 60%, so that's nice to see. Moving into the next ring, this is the 1 billion physical skill damage ring, which is going to be incorporated into this build, and I'm going to show you guys how here in a little bit when we get into skills and the cube powers and stuff like that. But it is pretty much identical to the test ring 516. Really, the only thing that's changed is it doesn't have the 100 yards to the gold health pickup radius. Instead, this has area damage on it, which is pretty nice. And it also has, it is sanctified for the Arcane Orb sanctified affix, which is great. And it has slightly higher cooldown of all skills and resource cost reduction. And you get that chance to deal 144% area damage on hit, which is nice to see. For the boots, same story here, identical to the offhand. You're getting arcane power per second, which is great, and critical hits grant 7 arcane power, which is always nice to see. And this piece of gear also has 75% magic item find, bringing that grand total to 150%. Moving on into the pants, these are also above 10,000 intelligence, almost at that 11,000 mark if you count the augment, which is so nice. And for the belt, this is the second piece of the Guardians Jeopardy set, the Guardians case. We have the 2-piece and 3-piece set bonus, basically giving us extra vitality, life per second, and increased move speed. And we're going to be utilizing the Ring of Royal Grandeur to give us that 3-piece set bonus. We get the Evocation passive, the Audacity, and Arcane Dynamo passive, which is always nice to see. No one's complaining here. Intelligence, Vitality, and Resist All Elements, just to name a few. Moving on into the skills. This is the fun part of the video. I always love doing these skill setups. For the X ability in the primary skill tree, you want to pick up Magic Missile with the Rune Charged Blast, but you really can't go wrong here. Just make sure you don't put the Seeker one on because you're getting it from the Sanctified affix. Moving on into our main damage dealing attack, it's going to be Blizzard in the Force skill tree with the Rune Apocalypse. Or, if you want to, you can choose Unrelenting Storm. I like the Apocalypse just because of the way it looks, but feel free to change that one out if you so choose. Again, in the Force skill tree, we're going to be picking up Hydra with the rune Frost Hydra, and I just love the way those look too, man. They're freaking awesome. In the Conjuration skill tree, we're going to be picking up Storm Armor with the rune Shocking Aspect. In the Circle ability in the secondary skill tree, we're picking up Arcane Orb with the rune Frozen Orb. And finally, that mobility skill in the defensive skill tree, we're picking up Teleport with the rune Wormhole. Passives are as follows: Cold-Blooded, Conflagration, Astral Presence, and Unstable Anomaly, god dang it. Q powers being Hack, Sash of Knives, and the Ring of Royal Grandeur. The last two are going to be mandatory for this build to perform decently. You're going to definitely want the Sash of Knives to take advantage of the 1 billion physical skill damage ring, and the Ring of Royal Grandeur so you can get the 6-piece set bonus for the Typhons Veil set, and the 3-piece set bonus for the Guardian Aversion set. But feel free to change the weapon out, for something else. I just like Hack because we have a bunch of Thorns damage equipped, man. So yeah, it's great. For the Paragon, we're going to dump all of our points into Vitality. Movement speed's already taken care of, and maximum arcane power is good to go. And your intelligence, you probably could get it higher if you want to dump some points in there to get extra damage, by all means. For the offensive stats, I would say attack speed. All the rest of these are already built in on the build, so you don't have to really worry too much about them. For the defensive stats, I would focus on life and then armor, and then, life resist all and life regen. For the utility skill tree, area damage totally first, you want to focus on that, and then fill out the rest. Quickly going over our follower, we are rocking the Templar follower. We do recommend using him for this build. And for the skills, you can really pick whichever ones you want. The only reason we're really using a follower to begin with is because they come with the Nemesis bracers, which is amazing, and they also come with the Spaulders of Zakura, which is just so nice. You don't have to keep running to the blacksmith to repair your gear every single time you get out of a rift, which is great. And we're using the Nemesis bracers to, of course, give us faster rift clear speeds. And we would recommend using the token that says your follower cannot die. That's going to be crucial if you want to push GR 150s. If you're just doing Torment 16 stuff, regular stuff, you don't really have to worry too much about it. But if you plan on doing GR 150s, you definitely want to have that equipped. Otherwise, your follower will probably die. So yeah, let's go over the detailed stats and we'll wrap this video up with some gameplay. So our damage is 537 billion, right in that sweet spot. Bonus damage to elites is at 405%. Critical chance and critical damage both capped at their respective values. Our cooldown reduction is really high at 99.71%. Moving on down into the damage reduction and defensive stats, we got a 91.28% for the damage reduction, with our resistances being almost at 100%, coming in at 97.49%, which is absolutely insane. And look at that Thorns value, man, 480,000, holy smokes. For the life stuff, we got total life bonus of 636%, bonus to gold/globe radius after 100 yards. For the resource cost reduction, we're looking at 99.08%, which is great. And we got an arcane regen of 31.89 per second, which is freaking awesome, man. I'm not gonna lie. Movement speed 25%, gold find is really high, almost at 1,000, coming at 945. And bonus experience per kill set for 8,000. So with all of that gone over, let's go ahead and wrap this video up with some gameplay so we can showcase this build in action. Oh man, we got an Oryx Stream Rift with a 1,000 sub build guide video, man. That's so great. I freaking love when that happens. So right away, you're gonna notice right off the bat, this build is extremely mobile, and that's thanks to using the teleport with that wormhole rune, basically allowing us to spam our teleport to get around the map really quickly, and it really excels in maps that are wide open like this. This is where this build is going to have the best time, because you're not really hitting any walls, nothing's really slowing you down. So if you get a map roll like this, you can expect to get some crazy fast clear speeds, which is always nice to see, especially on the wizard. I really like playing the wizard, and having 3 sanctified affixes means no matter how you decide to set this build up, you're gonna have fun either way, which is great. But we're taking advantage of all 3 of our sanctified affixes on this build, which is just awesome. And yeah, I really like these new builds that we're coming out with. And don't worry, we will be updating our older builds too to include the 3 sanctified affixes now that we have the room for it and everything. So expect some updates to our older builds as well as these new ones that are being released. But in the next rift that we do, I'm going to kind of talk about how to rock this build, but it's really simple. This one does take a little bit of getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. I promise. I probably wouldn't recommend this one to beginners. If you're a brand new player trying out the wizard for the first time, I would stick with the Firebird's Finery set, or maybe the LOD Hydra set, but if you're brand new to Wizards, this one probably isn't for you because it does have a little bit of maintenance coming along with the build. So what you're going to want to do when you get into a rift is automatically start spam casting your Hydras, because every time you have your Hydras out, you're just going to deal flat increased damage, which is great because you're not taking any damage. You don't have to worry about the Hydra's heads dying, and you can tell how many Hydra's heads you have alive by looking down at your toolbar, and if it has 10 on there, that means you have 10 Hydra heads alive. So that means you're getting the maximum bonus allotted for having 10 Hydra heads, which is great. And then the second thing you want to do is immediately after that is to start casting your Blizzard, and that means you're going to get, your Hydras are going to deal extra damage because they get bonus damage while hitting enemies that are caught in a Blizzard, which is great. If your Blizzard doesn't automatically kill them, then your Hydra probably will. All while you're doing this, you want to keep casting your Storm Armor because that does do damage, and it actually does a pretty decent amount of damage at that, especially having that Sanctified Affix on there, which is great. Other than that though, you know, if you get in a big group of enemies, you can either use your X ability for Magic Missile because it has a great area of effect spread to it, or you can use your Circle ability, which is your Arcane Orb, and if you chose the Frozen Orb rune, you're going to be able to cast these really quickly with hardly any delay until impact, and they're dealing massive area of effect damage as well. But other than that though, you want to use your Teleport ability to obviously get that high mobility to move around the map really quickly with good clear speeds across the board. During testing, the fastest run with this build with this exact setup was 1 minute and 29 seconds. On that though, we've hit we've hit sub-minute runs, we've hit minute runs. It's been pretty decent. I have done 45 runs with this build right here, and the times are pretty consistent. So I would consider it a very consistent build. Very fun, and it is available now to everyone for absolutely free. So if y'all enjoyed this video, definitely let me know by either dropping a like, or if you're new here and you do end up liking the content and style of these videos and you want to see more just like it, maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button, man. Leave your comments and feedback in the comment section down below, man. With that, thank you all for watching. If you made it all the way till the end, you're an absolute legend, and I really appreciate your support, and I can't wait to catch you all in a future video coming out soon. Stay safe, stay happy, and last but not least, stay gaming. Lion Gaming Crew, signing out.